Hello, BDL Advisor clients. Jeff Brown again. It's the February 2024 Oculus. Joining us today is Kevin Ruth. He's our chartered financial analyst. We're going to talk a little bit about how we select investments and implement the investment process for our clients. So, Kevin, let's talk about the first thing, which is, how do we develop our strategies here when we're thinking about our clients' investment portfolios?
Yeah, our investment strategy really starts with an understanding of the client. What are we investing the money for? What does the time horizon look like? What's the client's risk tolerance? So all of those factors are important and go into informing our investment strategy and asset allocation and really guides our approach for managing the portfolios. So for instance, if a client's focused on long-term capital appreciation and is comfortable with market volatility, they're going to have a much different portfolio versus a retiree who might be more focused on capital preservation and income generation. So all of that plays a role in informing our investment strategy and determining what are the right building blocks and investment options we consider to put together an asset allocation that makes sense for the client.
Great. How do we go about, so once we develop the strategy, then how do we go about selecting the investments and what tools are you using to do that?
Yeah, we have access to a host of really sophisticated research and analysis tools to help select the individual securities and vehicles that go into building our investment portfolios. So that includes an ability to do screening for funds or ETFs that match specific criteria we're looking for in an investment, or to do a deep fundamental research dive to understand the underlying drivers of a company and valuations for a specific stock or bond investment. So that selection process is really done bottoms up, one piece at a time. And some of the tools we have aid in that process, whether it's screening for a specific small cap equity mutual fund or digging into sales and margin trends for an individual company and trying to understand how that could impact a stock. So some of the tools we use there include Morningstar to do research on the fund and ETF side, or another platform like FactSet that we use for market data and analytics. So things like financial estimates or valuations at the individual company level.
Right. So we've developed the strategy, we've selected the investments using those tools. How do we go about monitoring the accounts along the way? How do we do that?
So that's really a continuous ongoing process. There's a ton of data and news in the investment industry coming at you on a daily basis. So sorting through that and figuring out what's truly important, that all goes into understanding the market backdrop and building an investment thesis. So analyzing the opportunity set across stocks versus bonds and other alternatives. So we're keeping an eye on all of that along the way, but also thinking about how different asset classes can complement one another in a portfolio and how that can drive performance, but also manage volatility. So keeping a close watch on how our investment strategy is positioned and also recognizing what kind of adjustments should be made along the way to ensure we're staying aligned with the objectives of the portfolio, which are ultimately tied in with the client's financial goals and risk mandates.
Okay. And then the last thing, of course, we have to execute the plan. So we've developed a strategy, selected the investments, we're monitoring it, we're looking at it. What kind of tools are we using to actually execute on the strategy?
Yeah, so as you think about portfolio construction, we're working to identify areas where we see the best risk return opportunities and looking to allocate across those segments. So determining where we want to be either over or underweight within industry sectors, styles, or geographies, or from a credit quality and risk spectrum on the fixed income side. And then just as important and tied in with our monitoring process, being mindful about how we manage that positioning and fine tune it over time to drive the best outcomes. And so in addition to our research process, we also have a host of trading tools and other resources at our disposal that help us manage these allocations and identify areas where it might make sense to potentially trim or add to positions and rebalance where appropriate.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. So for our BDL advisor clients, we just wanted you to meet Kevin and understand a little bit more about how the process works. We're going to also include in this email a little bit of information about what is a CFA, what is a chartered financial analyst. Kevin's got a deep skill set and a lot of experience in the industry, so we think you should try and at least understand a little bit about what his background in and what the training is and why we brought Kevin on board a few years ago. So once again, we appreciate it very much. Thank you again, and we hope to have another nice year for 2024. Thanks again.